Thank you. Nearly 20 years ago, the author Zev Chafetz stood on this bima stage at a table much like this and said, Judaism will be whatever the Jews do. That's 20 years ago. Adam just traced a history of what the Jews do. The Pew study shows that Judaism is constantly being created, reinvented, and there are still Jews. So I think that our history, the Pew study, and Zev Chafitz's statement are all very hopeful indications that Judaism will continue and that we as secular, cultural, humanistic, liberal, pick your adjective, Jews will also continue and bring strength into a Jewish community.
Professor Asher Cohen from Bar Ilan wrote a book which is called Jews, Non-Jews. That's the name. It's a small book, very worthwhile to read. It came out, I think, also in English now. And he coined the term sociological Jews. In other words, the idea was, how do you consider those hundreds of thousands of Jews that came from the Soviet Union to Israel? How does society relate to them? How do they see their own identity? And he says that it's very much like it used to be in biblical times. In other words, you wanted to be Jewish or you felt Jewish, you lived with Jewish people. And that's where the term comes from. Giyur comes from lagur, for the fact that you actually live with someone else. And that's basically what happened in Israel. Hundreds of thousands of people came. They're not defined by halakha as Jews, and they were accepted in society as Jews, and they refer to themselves as Jews. And in a few meetings that we had with some members of Knesset, who are also from this same community, they said, we've given up on Giyur. We don't want to go through this process, this orthodox process of becoming Jewish, because we feel Jewish, and we feel, that this is this is how people relate to us. The question is, the question that was asked here, what about the grandchildren? Can we really do enough for our grandchildren to feel that sense of being Jewish? I remember many years ago, I was a senior in high school. On my mother's side, my grandparents were from America, and they came to visit me in Israel. They came to visit all of us. I was just before going into the army, so I was a good excuse. Anyway, they came to visit us, and we went out for dinner. And very surprisingly, my grandfather turned to me and said to me, "Would you consider marrying a non-Jew?" I was looking at him. I said, "Where will I find one?"
I think that the Pew Report's publication was very important for us as a movement. And so now what we need to do is, to me it was a call to alms. In order to reach out, we need to be able to reach out. And in order to reach out, it not only requires each one of us to spread the word, but in today's technological age, we need to have the wherewithal, both funding and people, to be able to spread the message to all the people out there, because they have registered a tremendous need. They need to have a community who will accept all of them as Jews, who will enable them to be Jews in exactly the way they want to feel. And it doesn't have to be exactly the same as the person they're sitting next to wherever they are. So I feel that this is really a call for us to strengthen, to not to hide and to say, oh, the task is too large. When the task is too large is when we need to galvanize all of our strength and eat better food, maybe no grain, no sugar, I don't know, whatever they're saying. I feel very strongly that there's a huge need out there, and I feel more empowered than ever to go out there and let them know we are here, and we need them. Not only do they need, we need them to grow.
I want to
spread
offer.
the word.
I'm sorry. I want to offer two closing thoughts. One is to ask you to consider, what is the best period in Jewish history? Was it the days of Rashi and Maimonides, great intellectual production? Was it the exciting time of the kibbutz movement in Israel and the founding of the state? I have to say that the best time in Jewish life has to be right now. We've never had the freedom, the opportunities, the full involvement of both men and women in the creation of what it means to be Jewish. The open society that challenges us and also gives us the flexibility to do what we need to do to modify our inheritance and to grow. After all, every living thing grows and changes, so too must Judaism. And the last, as we go forward from here, and I want to thank all of our panelists, especially I want to thank our technical staff and support staff in the building and who have been helping to make this webcast possible as well. It takes a village to do anything. As we go forth, I want to remind us that nobody joins a sinking ship. If we are all going down, if it's terrible, if no one cares about this, no one's going to be involved. What makes our communities attractive, what makes our leadership attractive, what will make our movement attractive is our optimism, our hope, our enthusiasm, our desire to build a better future for ourselves and for the Jewish people and even for Jewish peoplehood, however nebulous that may be. In the end, the slogan to remember going forward is less oi and more joy. Thank you all very much.
I want to